Hello friends, welcome to the tutorial of Power BI for desktop. With you, Arun of Employability Plus. So far, we have seen how to use Power Query in Power BI. As you know, Power Query is a backend tool option available in Power BI. So, in the previous videos, we have seen how to use a Power Query effectively for data formatting, data manipulation, and data transformation, right? We used various functions like grouping the data or pivot table or merging two different tables, so on and so forth, to assist the data cleaning process. Now it's time to take this learning forward. Yes, today, I'm going to start with the front-end tools of Power BI. So we are going to start with DAX. So what do you mean by DAX? Data analysis, expressions. In the introductory video, if you remember, I've explained how Power BI connected with a powerful speaker. I spoke about the importance of expressions for a speaker. Similarly, we have to understand the importance of DAX for Power BI. The reason being, so whatever you have been doing so far to clean up the data, what all activities associated with data cleaning activities, all have been done for one reason. Yes, the final findings have to be shared with the larger audience. The moment of truth, data which is available has to tell some stories to the outside world. To make the data more meaningful, we need its front-end tools for calculations, for measuring, for calculating columns or calculating tables. We need to know the DAX. So, what are we waiting for? Let's move forward and learn what is DAX. Now, I'm going to make it very simple for you to learn DAX because I'm going to connect DAX with Excel formulas. As you know, DAX, or if you're not aware of DAX, DAX is nothing but combination of different formulas. Let's say 250 plus inbuilt formulas are available in this directory called DAX, wherein we can use it wherever we wanted, like different kind of functions whenever we needed. We can use that similar to what we have in in Excel. As you know, data analysis expression is basically a library which has around 250 plus built-in functions. What do I mean by built-in functions? If you are an Excel user, if you want to use a VLOOKUP function in Excel, you don't need to remember that entire formula. Similarly, if you want to use an index or match function, you don't need to remember the formula. All you have to do is you have to type equal to VLOOKUP. Am I right? Similarly, in DAX, for any functions or anything you would want to do, or you are using a related function which is similar to VLOOKUP, for an example, all you have to do is you have to just start with related. So the suggestion will come which you need to follow and get your work done, similar to what you have syntax in Excel. So it is all built-in functions. It helps you to manage your data very dynamically and perform complex calculations. With DAX, you can handle various types of data types, which means it can be a numerical, okay, it can be a string, okay, it can be a boolean, it can be any data type which you can handle it effectively. End of the day, we want to make our reports very attractive. Here we are having an option to, do calculated columns, or let's say use it for measuring data, right? So there are various other options we can explore using DAX. Let's move forward and see what we have in agenda. We are going to see concatenation, okay, which we have used in Excel. Similar thing which we are going to use it today in, using DAX. And logical functions, like you have nested if function, if condition, if and are conditions, or something like lookup function. All those things we are going to see today using Power BI. The people who have got an experience of using an Excel going to be very easy. And for those who are learning Power BI straight without having a knowledge on Excel, I'll make it very simple for you to learn. It's going to be very easy section. You will learn a lot about how to use these functions in Power BI. Let's get into the act. Start using Power BI. We'll begin with the first exercise. So, we are going to create two different new column, combining two different columns. Like here we have first name and last name. So we are going to combine these two things together in one column. You might wonder, we have done this on Power Query as well, right? The difference is Power Query, when you are doing it in Power Query, okay, the file size, whatever the changes you have made will not be carried to the, to the model. Here, when we are doing it here, it will add up to the file space. That is one challenge we have. However, let's understand what all we can do along with this. Let's start with this activity, which is adding first name and last name. Now, look, please remember, in Excel, when you are doing this particular thing, the reference cell will always be the cell, not the column. So when you are doing adding two different columns, you refer one cell, right, and then drag it to the entire column. However, in Power BI, when you do these kind of activities, you are not going to refer it for one cell, but you are going to refer the entire column. Here, I'm going to create, right click in the last column, new column. So the formula bar will open, where I'm going to add two different columns together. I'm not going to refer the cell number, but the entire column. So the name of that column is column. So let's rename it, saying that full name, right? And then say we are going to add the column, right? So first name is the first one. So select it here, base one, first name. So these are DAX built in. So similarly, we have, and double quotes, give a space, okay, space, include the space, and then select the last name. Select it, don't type it. When you select last name, it will come. Then you can give enter. Now you could able to see the first name and last name added together in this new column. I repeat again, when you are doing it in Excel, we refer a particular cell and drag and drop. But here you need to refer the entire what column. So that is all we have done in this formula. That is all we have done in this formula. You can look at this formula, right? This is all has been done in this particular formula, right? So look at this one, right? We have done this one, right? I hope you understood the concept, right? So this is a simple formula we have done, and we got it this, right? So now let's move on and create the next columns. The next task we have with us, right? We are going to, add, let's say we are going to add, or let's say we are going to keep the date as month. Instead of date, we are going to keep a month name here, right? Let's create another column and add month. So right click, new column. Again, we are going to refer the entire column. Let's keep this as month. Use the formula, which is format. Again, select the value. Value here, don't select the cell. select the date, it will come automatically. If it's not coming, you just put calculated columns, formula, right? Just put date. Yes, it has come on the top. Base one date, right? Then comma, right? You can just say you want how you want. right? You want only the month, right? So close the bracket, enter, so you'll get the month. Simple way how we do in Excel, we use a text function there. Use a text option there in Excel. Here we are using format, okay, to convert a date into a month. So now we have full name, we have combined. At least now you have an idea. This is a column based thing in Power BI, not a cell based. Let's move on and do other activities. Create another column, new column. Here we'll do some arithmetic operations. Here we are doing some multiplication, basic multiplication. So what is it we are going to do? We are going to have here the total cost. Total cost, what is total cost here? We are going to say it is cost per quantity, right, into quantity. That is the total cost incurred. Cost per quantity, let's type cost per quantity into simple multiplication into the, you got the table. Because this quantity we have selected, we have not selected the quantity formula correctly. So just you have to select quantity and don't select this option, select it from the table, right? So when you do that properly, you can get this particular thing. So what did I do? Last time I just typed quantity, I did not select. I missed to select that base one. So when you do this correctly, it will get this option. So why did I get the second one? So whenever you press shift enter, you can get line items in formula. Shift enter, you will get the line items like this. If you want to make your formula little more clear, right, you can use shift enter and increase the numbers instead of writing everything in one single line. It may you may feel very complicated formula, you may feel. So instead of making it like that, you can make it very simple by using shift enter, so it comes down, so you can write your next steps, basically a step based, right? Now let's move on and understand more and bigger functions. Let's move forward and learn how to use if conditions. We are going to learn if condition, sum if condition, okay, and also we are going to learn nested if condition in Power BI. It is as simple as what we do with Excel. If you're a Excel learner, I'm saying user, you would find it very easy to use these functions in Power BI. I'm going to make it very simple, especially for nested if condition. All you have to do is copy paste, right? Only difference you're going to have from Excel to Power BI is Excel, we do it in cells, as I said earlier. I repeat again, we do it for columns here. So right click on the total columns, total cost, new column, a simple formula. Let's say this one, I'm keeping it as incentive for simple if condition, and say equal to if, open the bracket, if the quantity, select the quantity, which is quantity here, greater than 20, okay, or let's say, yeah, 20, we have some values, right? Yeah, greater than 20, the incentive is 5,000, comma, or else if it is greater than 25,000, or else it is 0. A simple if condition, what you do with in same thing, and give enter, you'll get the result. You got the result here. We got 5,000 wherever it is applicable. Wherever it is 21 or above 20, we got the incentive as 5. This is a simple if condition. Now, if you want to do a condition based if condition, which is, we call it as what? Count if yes and sum if yes. Can it be done in Power BI? Yes, it can be done. We are going to see that now. Again, we start with inserting a column. This is an alternative for sum if yes, count if yes option we find, which we are going to use. Let's say we are going to use this one based on a condition. So I'm just giving some, let's keep it as sum if yes for our understanding, or let's give some other name for you to understand. Let's keep count, right? So we are going to use this thing where we are going to give a condition saying that, if let's say the sum is greater than something, then I need to have a value, which is in the sense I'm using calculate function. Okay, the expression I'm going to say that if uh, this total values, sum of, okay, sum of what? Sum of the, so right click on this new column, let it be name as result. What are we going to do? We are going to, sum or give, we are basically going to use a sum if alternative here using a function called calculate. So calculate of what? Calculate sum of quantity, sum of quantity, comma, close the bracket, comma, if, okay, this expression is there. What is the filter we have? If, let's say, the size, or yeah, or category, let's keep category, if the category is equal to, close the bracket. So what did we do? We have done a sum if function using calculate in Power BI. Basically, we are summing the quantity wherever the category is kurta. Same you do in Excel. So I'm giving enter. So wherever kurta is coming, the total sum quantity will be listed here. See, this is all kurta. The total sum quantity has been listed here. So you have 2, yes, correct, 2, 10. Wherever there is a kurta, you have the sum quantity. So if it is not kurta, okay, it will be 0. See this one. These are all 0 values. Result is 0. Null value. See, these are null values. So wherever there is kurta, the sum quantity it has brought here. Right? So if you give a count here instead of sum, I'm giving count instead of sum. Function is count. You'll get the value as 1 because these are counted as 1. Sum means it will take the total sum here. Right? So you use a calculate function similar to sum if in right. So let us keep it as sum only. Okay. Let's move on and create nested if condition. Close the bracket. 1, 2, and 3. What did we do? A simple equal to if selected the column, not the cell, and gave greater than 20 and gave flat incentive of 5,000, just copy this one multiple times and change the values and closing it with 3 columns. As simple as it is. Yes, we got it. I hope it is clear to you. A very simple if condition, nested if condition, what we have doing in Excel, we have replicated in Power BI and got the desired result. Now let's segment the dataset into 4 different groups. Let's create group. Okay, in this dataset, I'm going to use a random number to group this data into, or segregate or segment this data is the right word to put it across, to have 4 different sets. Assume you want to do. So right click here, insert new column. Yes, you have to repeat every single time when we do this one, inserting column. And here I'm going to give grouping. Grouping is the name. Please don't confuse. You can give your name also, not a big deal. So I'm giving groups and randomly going to select groups, which means I'm going to use equal to if, then say random number ran between of 1 comma 4. It will be between anything between 1 comma 4. If it is greater than 4 or greater than 3, in this case greater than 3, then we want what we want this is group A, comma, so I can copy paste this multiple times again, right? If it is greater than 3, it is 8. If it is greater than 2, or let's say less than, yeah, greater than 3 is 4, right? So greater than 2, or here it is greater than 2, greater than 1. So just we did one copy pasted. If it is random, greater than 3 it is A, greater than 2 it is B, greater than 1 which is 2 basically, which is C, or else we want D. What did we do? We incorporated ran between formula in a if condition. So with this, you can able to basically group the data in the way you wanted. If it is a 4 group, I am doing it like this. If you want to segment the data into 6 different groups, you can use ran between inside and if condition, right? So I'm giving enter. You will get now different groups based on the random number. These are random numbers. So you have 4 different groups now. Look at this, A, B, C, D. You have 4 different groups. So what did I do to divide? Simple if condition. I used ran between inside. Now let's see how to create a nested if condition in a different manner. In Power BI DAX, you have a special function called, any guess? Anybody knows? Which is a replacement for nested if condition. Yes, some of you got it, I hope, which is switch function. So let's create a switch function. Insert new column. Here we are going to use a switch function. Let's call it as grouping switch function, right? Equal to switch, which is an alternative for your nested if condition, as I said. And then you can select the column. Let's keep this grouping column, right? Switch group column. This group column we are going to take, comma. Now you can go on write this entire thing in one single line. But for more, viewable, for your own clarity, in case if you are sharing it with others, we can have it in step by step. So you use shift enter option to go to the next step and say that you have selected that entire column. Now you say if it is C, right? What you want. Straight away you can type C since you have already defined. If it is C, what you want? I want 5,000. Shift comma, you can give comma, shift enter. Then I'll say if it is B, comma, I want 4,000. The alternative for nested if condition I told you at the beginning, right? And then again, comma, shift enter. If it is C, B, if it is A, I want 3,000. If it is not anything, okay, let's say this is the last option, or else, okay, you want what you want, you can mention that. Else it is 1,000 straight away, right? Close the bracket. That's it. You don't need to scratch writing your big nested if condition which you are doing in Excel, which I have already shown you. In case if you are comfortable, to transfer your knowledge of Excel to, Power BI, then you can use that nested if condition, that copy paste. Else, I strongly recommend if you are a new learner to go with switch function, wherein you can easily learn the nested if condition, right? Now we are going to see the last option for today, wherein we are going to use, you know, option a substitute for VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, we are going to use something called related. So we have two different tables here. If you look at these tables, I have two different tables here. If it's not coming, it will be here. So there are two different tables here. One table have an additional value. This particular table has an additional value, which is, let's say, the category 1. This is a column which is not available in this table. The first one, base 1. The category 1 is not available, but both the fields are matching. In Power BI Power Query, we have seen how to do it using merge option. Here, you are not going to use merge option. Even more simple called related. So VLOOKUP we are going to do now between base 1 and base 2. Right click on this one, column, new column. So VLOOKUP we are going to do, let's say column, let it be column. So we are using a function called related, and you are going to select that particular field, the sense for in that particular base 2 we are using only base 2 will be listed. You are working on base 1, so you won't get base 1 columns option, right? You will get automatically default, it will come as base 2. So I'm giving it as base 2. Okay, let's say base 2, the what is the column you want as a result? Base 2 category 1 want as a result. Event. VLOOKUP is done. So simple in Power Query. So simple. See, now you got the column. This is the data set, which is column which is available in the another table. All we did is it has taken automatically, it has taken the unique field between both the tables, which is the order ID, matched it and gave you the column. A very simple formula which is related. In Excel, we use a VLOOKUP for this. Right? I hope you have learned all this concept, like how to group the data, right? How to, create a nested if condition. The same way you have done in Excel, we have used here both nested if condition as well as switch option I gave, and how to do a VLOOKUP, right? In the front end. Back end we have already saw. Right? So you had a great learning today, right? And looking forward to meet you all again in the next section. Thanks so much for watching, and I suggest you to, request you to subscribe to this channel so you get a lot of, informations in a most simplest way, right, from this channel. Thank you so much.